The silence in this old house is the loudest thing I've ever heard. It's the deafening sound of a life spent for others, now left with nothing but echoes and dust motes dancing in the afternoon sun. My name is Robert. I'm 60 years old, and every line on my face, every ache in my bones is a souvenir from a life I didn't live for myself. I built this house with my own 2 hands, not just with wood and nails, but with sweat, missed holidays, and dreams I packed away like old winter coats. I thought I was building a fortress of family, a home base my children, Michael and Jessica, would always return to. Now I see I was just building my own beautifully furnished tomb. I remember when the noise was constant, a symphony of chaos I secretly cherished. The sound of little feet thundering down the hallway, the endless loop of cartoons on a Saturday morning, the arguments over who got the last cookie. I worked 2 jobs back then, one at the steel mill during the day and another stocking shelves at the grocery store at night. My hands were always rough and calloused, stained with grease and grit, but they were the hands that put food on the table, that paid for Jessica's braces, that bought Michael his first real baseball glove. I can still feel the ghost of its leather in my palm. I'd come home so tired my bones felt like they were filled with wet sand, and I'd find little crayon drawings taped to the fridge door, clumsy stick figures of a man with a hard hat labeled Daddy. That was my payment, my fuel. I'd kiss their sleeping heads, the sweet scent of childhood innocence washing away the exhaustion, and I'd promise them, whisper it into the dark, that they would have everything I never did. My own dreams were simple. I wanted to take my wife, Sarah, on a trip to see the ocean, the real ocean, not just the pictures in magazines. I wanted to buy a little fishing boat and spend my weekends on the lake. But a trip to the coast became a trip to the dentist for Jessica, and the boat fund became the college fund. After Sarah passed, it was just me and the kids, and my focus narrowed into a laser beam. Their future was the only thing that mattered. I remember Michael's college acceptance letter. He was so proud, his eyes shining brighter than any star I'd ever seen. The tuition was a mountain, a terrifying, insurmountable peak. I sold my old truck, the one I'd had since I was a boy, the one I'd patched up 100 times. I started taking the bus to the mill, standing, in the rain and the snow, but I didn't care. I'd see the picture of Michael on campus he'd sent, standing in front of a brick building with a cocky grin, and I'd feel a warmth spread through my chest that no winter chill could touch. For Jessica, it was law school. She had a fire in her, a brilliant mind that could argue a fence post into a tree. I took out a second mortgage on this house, the house Sarah and I had built, gambling our past for her future. I ate canned soup for dinner most nights, telling myself it was fine, that it was temporary. And it was. They both succeeded, more than I could have ever imagined. Michael is a big-shot architect in California, designing skyscrapers that touch the clouds. Jessica is a lawyer in New York, fighting for justice in a courtroom. They have their own lives, their own families, their own beautiful, expensive homes. I see the pictures they post online, them on vacation in Europe, their kids in designer clothes, smiling in front of monuments I've only read about in books. They look happy, and I am happy for them, truly. But a part of me, a selfish, broken part, can't help but feel like a tool that's been put back in the shed after the job was done. The phone calls used to be weekly, then monthly. Now they're reserved for holidays, brief and rushed. "Hey Dad, gotta run, kids are screaming, love you." The "I love you" feels like a punctuation mark, an automatic response at the end of a sentence, not a feeling. Last year, on my birthday, my 60th birthday, I sat here at this kitchen table all day. I cooked a roast, my wife's recipe. I thought maybe they'd surprise me. The doorbell rang once in the afternoon, and my heart leapt into my throat. It was a delivery man with a fruit basket. A generic, impersonal fruit basket with a card that read, "Happy 60th, Dad. We'll call you later." They never called. I ate a slice of dry roast beef alone, the silence chewing on my soul. I walk through these empty rooms, and they are haunted by ghosts of the past. I see the pencil marks on the door frame where I tracked their height, the faint scratch on the hardwood floor where Michael fell off his first bike, the chipped paint on the windowsill where Jessica used to sit and read for hours. This house is a museum of a family that no longer exists. I gave them my youth, my strength, my dreams, and all I have to show for it are memories and a silence that grows heavier each day. I just wanted them to have a better life than I did,